the studio today with Yvonne McKenna, CEO of Gaisce, the President's Award. Welcome, Yvonne.
Thanks very much.
We're going to ask you some questions about Gaisce, and if you can give us a little bit more information about what it is that your organisation represents.
Well, Gaisce, the President's Award, essentially is a self-development programme for young people aged 15 to 25. The framework is that young people set and achieve challenges across certain areas. So they set themselves a physical challenge, they get involved in community, they undertake to learn a new skill or develop a skill. And then the fourth element is that they undertake an adventure journey. So there's 3 levels of the award. There's bronze, silver and gold. And in each level, additional time is required, I suppose, in order to achieve the award.
In terms of the Bronze Award, because our interest is in transition year,
Sure.
How does your programme fit in the transition year scheme of things?
Well, I mean, I suppose it fits very well. Gaisce's been around for, it's 1985 where it first began, so it's a fairly similar, I suppose, longevity as TY. And its ideals were probably very similar to the ideals of TY, which is about the development of a young person, about opportunities for them to learn, to explore areas that they wouldn't normally do. And so for that reason, Gaisce's always fitted in very well with TY. And I suppose, a huge number of the young people who register to do Gaisce do so in transition year as part of that programme. Now it is, I suppose Gaisce fits in without being part of TY. So it is an extracurricular undertaking. So it does involve young people choosing to go the extra mile, I suppose, during that year. But what's great is it is a year that they can do that. And it does rely on often the TY coordinator who undertakes the role of the President Award leader. And the President Award leader is trained by Gaisce to be the mentor for the young person throughout their Gaisce journey. I suppose fundamental to Gaisce is that young people choose their own goals, their own challenges. But they're guided through that process by a President Award leader. And it's the PAL who says to them, well, are you pushing yourself hard enough? Or, well, hang on, back up the truck. maybe, visiting Mars is a little beyond the ability or the capacity of this year. So the PAL is a really important role. And what we found, it's very successful within the TY programme for that reason. And what we found is that PALs say, well, it's a great, who are often in TY, they'll say it's a great opportunity to have a different kind of relationship with their student. And I suppose that's what TY is about as well.
I just have a question about schools that wouldn't necessarily have a Gaisce leader. Would that close off the avenue to doing the Bronze Award for a transition year student?
For transition. Well, the way, the way it works is that we train people to be PALs within an organisation. Now, they can be paid employees, they can be volunteers, they can be otherwise associated within the organisation. I suppose for safety reasons, we don't have independent PALs and independent young people. It's always through a recognised structure where a young person is, so a school, for example. But if a school feels, well, actually we don't have the capacity to deliver the Gaisce programme or there isn't an appetite amongst the staff, how it can be facilitated is through individuals choosing to volunteer in the role of PAL, as long, of course, as the school is interested in supporting that role as a volunteer as well.
Now, just in terms of parents and the role of parents in all of this, I should imagine that could be quite a crucial point for Gaisce, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I suppose, it takes a community to raise a child, but when it comes to Gaisce, the PAL is so important. But then there's also, there is the community. So it's friends that are also encouraging the young people through their Gaisce journey, and crucially their family. So the encouragement of family is so important. Now I would say it is an opportunity for a different type of relationship. So the opportunity is there to sort of let go a little bit as well, to encourage the young person to explore their own dreams or their own areas of interest. We would say with Gaisce, it's not that a parent should say, this is the skill I want you to learn, or this is the volunteer work I want you to get involved in. It's more an opportunity to explore with the young person, well, what interests might you have, and maybe throw the ball around with it. But the parents are so important. They really are. We'll often call the parents the stealth pals, because it is often the parents who are facilitating, and it's not just facilitating, whether that's helping bring a young person to where they might be volunteering, or it's also just the encouragement. When you're coming home from school and it's during the winter and it's dark and it's your parent who's going to be saying, well, no, go out in the running field there for a bit longer or whatever it is. So the parents are crucial to it. And I suppose for them as well, it's something that they can feel reward in. You know, very often I'll meet parents, and certainly now, you know, my friends who now know me for working in Gaisce also will tell me about the impact Gaisce has had on their child as well. So it's I think the parents can play a crucial role.
It's a strong reinforcement, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You had quite a significant presence at the TYI Expo this year.
You know, we had been involved in it in a small way the year before, and we saw the opportunity for us, I suppose, you know, the synergies between ourselves and TYI Ireland, or TYI in general, I suppose, are very important. So what we wanted to take the opportunity for was to use the TYI the expo as an opportunity to give some space to pals, to actually support them as well. So for us, it wasn't just about, you know, letting more young people know about the Gaisce programme and encourage them either to do it, or if it's not in their school, to maybe ask why couldn't it be in the school. But for us, it was also about the pals and showing them recognition and getting in touch with them. So I think we had a very positive experience, and we'd be hoping again this year to replicate that sort of relationship. It was very successful as far as we were concerned.
Would that be something that parents might be interested in coming to have a look at the expo, at the Gaisce stand at the expo?
Well, absolutely, because I suppose what we don't want it just to be a stand where we say this is the information. We want it to be interactive. So any opportunity for us to I suppose, converse not just with pals and young people, but with parents as well. And I suppose it's an opportunity. You know, some people have a fixed notion of what Gaisce is. You know, oh, that was that thing that young people do in school where they're told to do this, that and the other. And I suppose even parents having a broader idea of the programme and the opportunity within it is really good, because then they can even be sort of maybe stretching the young person or the school to think more creatively about the Gaisce programme as well. So you know, it's really important that parents are involved in their young people's lives, and sometimes maybe they feel cut out a little bit. But transition year, I suppose, it's such a year of exploration that it's a great opportunity for parents to be involved. And, you know, any opportunity that can be given to encouraging that traffic, that communication across all the different groups would be very welcome, I think.
If parents that want to do a little bit of research, find out a little bit more about Gaisce, how would they go about that?
Well, I suppose the first port of call is our website, which is gaisce.ie, gaisce.ie, where we have information for young participants. We have information for parents, for other people who are interested in the programme, for the general population, let's say. We also have information for pals, for organisations that want to deliver Gaisce. And then there's also our office. Now, all our contact details are on our website, and I'd encourage anyone to either look at our website, and if they're having difficulty finding out the information, to maybe get in touch with us directly. What I'd say about the Gaisce programme as well is, you know, it is a fixed framework in the sense that you pursue these different areas, whether it's physical activity, getting involved in community, but it's the outcome that's important. And, you know, the purpose of the award is to develop for young people to fulfill, to be fulfilled, to find out what they enjoy. And I suppose that's probably the most important thing we can teach a young person, is to develop those social and emotional competencies like confidence, leadership, self-management, because they really are the crucial building blocks. And that's the synergy between TYI and Gaisce. It's almost the outcomes, and it's not about creating obedient young adults. It's more letting young people flourish, which I think is possibly the most important thing we can do.
The experience of transition year can often be very much influenced by the amount of money that it costs. Mm-hmm. And I think this is something that Gaisce is a very good point to make. Could you tell us a little bit about the role of finances and the Gaisce Award?
Well, I suppose, you know, in our mind, we want the Gaisce programme to be available to all young people in Ireland, 15 to 25. And we certainly don't want money to be a barrier to Gaisce. And I suppose what we encourage is for people to think creatively about the programme. So if somebody has a sense, well, if in order to learn a skill, I need to get lessons, we say, then I need to pay for them. We always say to people, that's not important, especially in the world we live in now. Is there someone that can help you learn a skill that you don't need to pay? Is the internet is there? There's so many, whether it's language or music or all these different courses that we can do through the internet. Our adventure journey, which is often seen as possibly the most expensive part of Gaisce, we have a great relationship with Scouting Ireland. They make their campsites available at a very low cost, and there's always opportunities throughout the year to sort of be seeking out the cheaper options, and even on our website we've compiled a list of activities that can be done that are very low or no cost. It's impossible, I suppose, to do it entirely without cost, especially if you're going on the adventure journey. You're going to need to bring some food, but there are even creative ways of how to do that or how to bring it along. I think it's such an important point. We had research done on the impact of Gaisce, and it proved conclusively that it does assist in the development of all those social and emotional competencies that I mentioned, the confidence, leadership, self-management, all those areas. But what it found was that where people scored lower in those areas, that they travelled furthest. And that's a really important point. So in a sense, for us, it's really important that the Gaisce programme is available to people who don't necessarily have as many opportunities or have access to those sort of levels of funds. So, and actually, in addition, I'd say if anyone is struggling with the cost of it, to get in touch with us, because sometimes, we need to help people think a little bit outside the box about how to do Gaisce at a low or no cost.
And they can find that information on your website as well? On
our website, yes. And our programme is that we run Gaisce in collaboration with organisations, and schools obviously being a really important one. But we do have, a number of development officers in the organisation. We have communication staff. We have people there all the time to answer the call if anyone needs to talk to us.
Yvonne, thank you so much for coming in to talk to us about Gaisce today.
I'm delighted. I'll talk about Gaisce any given opportunity. So it was wonderful. Thank you very much.